episode 46 of Minor Disturbance Radio, and I can't even believe how out of control this is going to be. We're not going to be able to rein this bitch in at all.
I can already tell.
So, yeah, this podcast is going to be pretty fun. It's going to be special because we have a whole fucking band on the show this time. We've never done this before except for 1152, but we had to go somewhere else for that.
But there was so many people, it was like the fucking Last Supper.
Yeah, so we have to cram all of our fat asses around this table in the studio here. So, but yeah, our guest this time is, I'm going to call you guys Bleach, which is the Nirvana tribute band, and we've got Ronnie Cook and Randy Ketelsen and Michael Moen sitting in on this podcast, so this is going to get out of control. So what do you guys got to say about yourself? Anything?
We're out of control.
Yes. We shouldn't have went to rookies first.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
where's the heroin room?
Yeah. Well, you're in it, buddy.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
You're in it.
Oh,
you're
really? You want to tie off? You want to tie off right now? It's a little early.
Yeah,
okay, so I don't know. We'll go around the horn here. I mean, I'll start with Mike Moen. You know what I mean?
Yes,
What's up,
Brian.
big boy? Remember the mic's in front of you.
Yes.
See,
yes,
this is
yes. I'm a
what you
drummer,
people
yes.
didn't see was the setup for this shit. I told them if you're bringing 3 people, somebody's gonna have to share a mic.
We're gonna have to hug me and Randy.
Yeah.
I wanted them to sit on each other's laps.
It's a
but-
miracle
It
how
might come later.
like
It might come
professional musicians have no idea about proximity mics. You know, they're like, "Hey, yeah, man, fuck yeah."
You don't scream like this.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
surprised.
work like that?
So,
I'm surprised none of you newbies has tried to like cup it yet. I mean, you're fucking.
I'm still learning about that stuff. And how long? 30 years I've been doing this. And I still don't know how to set up a mic or sing on it.
Yeah, I say newbies ironically, knowing that.
We have a lot of people that watch the podcast that maybe might not be familiar with who's sitting at the table right now. We have a lot of what I consider, like I said, this whole podcast is about, area guys that have been out in the game and done some shit, and this is all our stories about what we've done and where we landed and shit. So, but like Ronnie here, you were in Suicide Saloon and you guys got a deal and all that shit, right? At one point.
So that was from what year to what year?
God, that was, we started that band, I think it must have been around 88 or 89, I think. And I think it was 1990. We were playing at the Tri-Lighter, which is now Rookies. We were just there drinking, actually.
Yeah.
We were.
Seems
we were
poetic.
playing.
Just one.
What are you talking about? Rock bands drinking at bars?
Yeah. We were drinking tea.
Call it pre-gaming.
Tea and
pre-gaming.
eating trumpets or whatever you call that. Schrumpets or schrumpets.
Crumpets. Tea and crumpets. Clearly, you're a.
And we were playing trumpets.
You're a Briton.
But it was around 1990. We were playing the Tri-Lighter, and I just remember we were having this crazy show, man. We did all originals, all our own stuff, and I think I went out in the audience. I grabbed a chair out of the freaking audience and I slammed it on the freaking wall. We just tried to be outrageous. We were just an outrageous band.
So you guys were assholes.
We were assholes.
Yes, they were.
Unabashedly.
There was a guy that was working with the Poison. He was their manager or something, or road manager, in the Bullet Boys. He was on tour, but he happened to be he was from the Quad Cities, happened to be on a little break and saw us, just happened to go in the Tri-Lighter we were playing that night, and that was a crazy night. And he comes up to us after the show and he's like, you kids want to come out to California, sign a record deal? And we're like, yeah, sure. All right, well, come meet us at Azteca up by Azteca in the parking lot. This
there couldn't have been an Azteca at that time.
Well, it's where it's at now.
Okay.
I don't know what. I think what was there. There was a bar there, Phil and Larry's.
Phil and
maybe?
Larry's was
Phil and
upstairs.
Larry's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was that place. I think it was still there. That's where we met him in the parking lot, and he's like, "You guys find your own way out there."
Oh, for Christ's
The
sake.
only one that didn't shut
Is
their
that
fucking
my
phone
phone?
off.
Jesus
That might be
fucking
Gordon
Christ. Maybe he's got a bag of weed for you.
We'll wait.
We'll wait.
Hello?
Did you forget about us or what?
Is this Gordon Doherty?
This is Dick Delicious.
Oh, it's Dick Delicious. Sorry. We're looking for Gordon, man. Wait a minute. You're Gordon, aren't you? Also known as
Who
Dick
called who?
Yeah, I am Gordon Doherty.
We have Gordon from Suicide Saloon on right now.
Excellent.
Hey, Gordon, what's up?
What's happening?
Just fucking hanging out.
I don't know, can they hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Do you know where the speaker is on that phone?
Should be right about there. Just look for the hole, right?
Yes.
There ain't enough hair for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, put some hair on it for
We
her.
got you on, Gordon. Let me turn the volume up. I think it's up here.
These newfangled fucking smartphones.
What do you have to say about anything?
I was watching some episodes. I saw your episode with Billy Pfeiffer.
Yeah, that was a great time.
Billy, yep.
That was cool. It's funny because Billy recorded our first record, our first demo tape for Suicide Saloon that we did.
Where
He sure did. Yeah.
where was that at? Where'd you record it then?
Music Factory? Was it Music Factory?
Oh, yeah, yep.
It was, okay. Wow, how'd that come into my
Good memory,
mind?
Ron.
I'm surprising myself here. Anyway, do you remember playing at the Stone when me and you did all like 5 hits of acid that night?
No,
But it was on accident.
You don't remember it, but it was an accident. It was.
Dude, I told
We
you,
didn't mean
I
to
told
do
you
it.
Call me here. Yeah, no,
Only half the bag of acid was bunk, man.
Do you want
Only
to
half the
tell?
bag.
Do you want to tell that story, or should I tell it?
Ronnie, you tell the story, dude. It's
You
fun.
know,
Yes.
what it was is they said, the guys that gave it to us said, oh, this is like the last, blotter that had been blotted up, so it's not really strong. You got to take like 3 or 4 of them to really feel it.
Half of it was bunk and half of it was good. Yeah.
So we all took it, like a bunch of us, and Ron and I were like 5 minutes later, like, holy shit. Like, are you feeling it already? And nobody else was feeling it except Ron and I.
Craig and Aaron, nobody else in the band felt anything.
They got
They're
all the
like,
good
no, I'm
ones."
not tripping I'm not tripping at all.
Nobody tripped. Nobody felt anything except us, and we were so high. That's one of the highest I've ever been, yeah. Sure.
Gordon, have you come down? It's Moen talking to you.
And do you remember going backstage and remember that somebody tapped us on the shoulder?
That's the highest I've ever been.
What?
I've actually done DMT, and that's the highest I've ever been.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Little dimethyltryptamine.
Gordon, do you remember going backstage and there was that girl was trying to interview me and you at that?
Yeah. Yeah, her teeth were like, her whole teeth were protruding out of her mouth and snapping at us. Not in my world. And they were snapping at us, and I guess she was talking, but it just looked like her teeth was trying to chew us up. And Ron and I both just kind of gave her this look like, oh my God, and like bailed on us. And got the worst review in the magazine like the next week. We got remember that? The review she gave us? She was like, what'd she say? She said, it's a good band to drink beer to. Something or other.
We ran out of there. Do you remember? We looked at her and we were freaked out by her, and because we were tripping our ass
Yeah.
off.
I thought she
In
was
the
trying
middle
to
of the
get
interview, we just left and took off running.
We're actually
Let's
going to
get
do
the
that
hell
here in
outta
about
here.
10 minutes.
Band responded to me as if I were a velociraptor.
We're starting to peak right now.
And ironically, we were opening up for a band called LSD.
Exactly.
Oh.
LSD.
Life,
with-
Sex, and Death.
Life, Sex, and Death.
With Stanley.
Awesome. Oh, you
yeah,
know Stanley?
fucking cool
Oh my
band,
God.
man. Some fucking shit ass.
Yes. Oh my
Stole
God.
my money,
I
yeah.
didn't know the song, yes.
Yeah, we did, man. I remember him when we, those guys, they got signed to Warner Brothers, man, and it was like, they were freaking awesome, man. I remember, like, walking into Soundcheck, had no idea who they were, man. I just walked in, and the Stone, in San Francisco, Metallica's played there, everybody's played there. That's the freaking place back then. I remember walking in Soundcheck, had my guitar in my hand. I just dropped my guitar. I'm like, who the hell are these guys on stage? I see this freaking guy. Hey, some fucking shit. It was like, it's a freaking bomb off the
Yeah,
freaking,
he is.
off the
And he was true to
road.
his character. Stanley never bathed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He smelled
He
bad,
smelled to
too.
high heaven,
And
yeah.
he played the part, man, and Warner Brothers like caught on to him. We're signing those guys.
He never broke character with us, though. The whole time we hung out with him that day, he never broke it. He never was normal.
He never broke character.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't think he broke character
And-
anymore at that point.
And Jason knew him. Jason
Yeah.
knew him like as a normal person back in
Weird.
Chicago.
That'd be just weird.
Which
Yeah, he
is-
knew his name. He actually said hi to him, and the dude was like all tripped out by him.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you should have been on the podcast.
He kind of is.
Well, we're not sure if it's coming through. I'm trying to look at the levels here, and I don't know if the phone's coming across or how much of this is going to be able to be used, seeing as how you're holding
Yeah.
your phone up to the We weren't prepared for a phone call. It just kind of got thrown at us.
Yeah. So fuck you,
He isn't
Gordon.
really looking for weed.
Fucking up our podcast.
Yeah, Gordon, quit fucking up our podcast. I told you, man. I'm kidding, brother.
You told me you were going to call me at 3:15.
Where's my bag of weed?
I don't never know what
Where's my
time
bag
it
of
is.
weed,
We ain't
man?
gonna get nothing done.
You gotta get shit
We ain't gonna get nothing done.
I'm gonna have to hang up because I think we're just gonna try to finish this interview now. So,
Awesome.
not interview, the bullshit thing we got going on.
We're gonna try to start the
We're gonna try to
bullshit.
start the bullshit.
We're
Exactly.
gonna start the bullshit circus right
I'm
now.
gonna
So,
watch the rest of this Billy Piper thing on Minor Disturbance Radio.
Sweet.
yeah, right on.
Maybe we can talk this cat and doing some live podcasts and getting some music out there, too.
There you go.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Right in this room, actually.
Gordy,
We're
I
gonna set
love you,
up
brother.
drums
I
and
love you
everything.
so much, man.
I love you too, Ron. Rock out, dude.
Thanks, Gordon. We'll talk to you
Take it easy,
soon.
Gordon.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yep,
Brian.
I'll call you later. Bye-bye.
Killer. Bye.
So
That was an interesting
I
diversion.
love you.
Yeah, you just talked about. Sorry about that. I have no
Sorry.
idea how that was to
No.
listen to.
Oh, hey, you
Anybody's
have
watching the podcast now.
Speaking
It'd be
of
the first time they
interruptions.
watch it, and they're like, they just fucking do whatever. I mean, they call people like, "Hey, mom." Hold on a second, guys. You mentioned getting live bands and shit, which was gonna, that reminds me. I was looking for somebody out there. It could be you. I'm trying to find somebody that would be willing to be our, Johnny on the spot and like take one of our cameras and maybe go talk to some bands while they're playing, get some footage of them playing.
that'd be cool.
You got to go out a lot though. You got to go out a lot and see a lot of different bands. I don't know who that person might be, but then maybe interview some concert goers themselves too and ask them what they think of local bands, who their favorite bands are, something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then get the footage to me because I'm too fucking old and have too many kids
Yeah.
to go out all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe if we had somebody out in the field that would do some of that and I could edit it down and put it on
I
the
think
podcast.
we know a guy named Stuttering Dick that could do that.
I know.
But I thought that was a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, let me know if you'd be interested in doing
That's a
that.
good idea. What?
I don't know. I think that's a good. No, I think it's a
Howard's
great
got
idea.
Stuttering
Podcast,
John, but
yeah.
we know it's Stuttering Dick.
Stuttering Dick. Yeah.
So
You know, the
Yeah,
camera.
live footage
I was gonna
would be great.
Actually, that would be his name.
But
yeah,
he's-
let's get past this first whole thing that I want to get to, and then we'll move on, around
Yeah.
the room, and
Oh, yeah.
we'll talk about some stuff. But in this scene in the Quad Cities, through my eyes, I've watched bands come, seen some shoot up, some come home, some then you know what I mean. It happens again, and everybody's talking about, God damn, these guys are gonna make it. These guys are gonna make it. And I'm never in the band that's gonna make it. So I guess vicariously, people that listen to this podcast kind of want to know what that ride was like to get on a deal and what it actually means.
Well, for me, dude, it was the most amazing time of my life. Those days, back in them days, it was just everybody wanted to come out and see music. Music was freaking cool. Everybody was doing it. I mean, and I come back here, and the musicians here, I've been blown away because I've been gone for so long. Out in Cali, I lived there for 13 years, Florida 11. I come back here, 2 years ago, and I see all the musicians just freaking rocking it, man, which is awesome. But for us, at that time, it was the most exciting time. At that time, it was so exciting. It was like, we got noticed by that dude that worked for Poison, saw us. You guys want to come out, sign a record deal? We're like, yeah. We go out there, we meet all these people, we go in the studio, freaking Joe Satriani, it's Alpha Omega Studio in San Rafael. Joe Satriani's recorded there, Blue Oyster Cult. We met Sandy Pearlman, which I think he was like their manager or something.
So everybody that's listening, you got to understand this is a bass player talking right now. I'm pretty sure you could probably assume that if you've ever been in a band before.
I'm no one special.
There's a reason. Well,
We are the rhythm section, brother.
He's the one that don't get laid, right?
yeah, there's two.
No, Ronnie's the bass player that does get laid. He's the one that does get laid.
Don't get him started on them stories.
And then,
I really don't, by the way.
but then about 6 months later, he gets fucked.
And by the way, I'm going to take my shades off now because, maybe. No, you don't have to. I want the rock stars to keep them on. I'm a part-timer. So, But all right, then might go back on.
I fell
Fuck
backward.
that.
Okay, so what record label were you signed by again?
Well, it was they were called Pump Records.
Okay.
And it was an indie label. It wasn't a major label, but these people they knew, everybody. They said, actually Billy knows all those guys, man. Billy had something to do with us getting signed, I think.
Who all was in the band?
In our band?
Yeah.
It was Gordon Doherty, played guitar. I played bass. Well, on the actual record it will say Desi Jade.
Daisy.
We actually had different names.
Oh, you use stage names.
We had stage names.
I didn't know
yeah.
that. I don't
I
know.
was Desi Jade.
Daisy.
And,
You were Daisy.
Gordon was Kelly Crash.
Kelly Crash. That's right.
Aaron Seibel was the other guitar player.
That's right.
He was Adrian Lord. JT Rival.
That's so funny because I actually
Jason
know
O'Donnell.
a guy named Adrian Lord.
Really?
He is a drummer here locally.
Oh, okay.
That is such a strange coincidence
Yeah.
that somebody would choose someone else's actual name as their fake name.
I thought it was a porn star or
That's what
something.
sounds like
I
it,
think
doesn't it?
It was, but
Well, here was my perception of what happened because I was young then when that kind of kicked off.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, I heard of Suicide Saloon, and then you guys were gone. It was pretty quick from
It
from
was-
me coming into the scene.
Yeah, it was real quick, man.
So
I mean,
where in the hell did you
together-
guys go? They just put you on the road immediately, or what?
Yeah, we weren't together very long, man. We pretty much just wrote all these songs. All of a sudden, boom, we went out, started playing Tri-Lighter, played with Nikki Fox, Halo Flies, Matt Truitt, and those
Right,
guys,
Truitt.
man. We
Dan the Man.
played shows all the time with those guys. Tri-Lighter was like our home. We just started, boom, just came out, and people were coming out. We were getting popular. Played this Apollo Ballroom, which is in Davenport. I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's not
remember that
there
gig, dude.
anymore, is it?
I was like 5
Dude,
years
people
younger
were
than you
coming
guys,
up to
4
us
years.
like we had posters,
Dude, it was
that were
badass.
advertising the band and
You
all
guys
that.
are rock stars,
They're like,
man.
will you sign this poster, sign it? And we were signing autographs. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I was
But
happy
all of a
for you
sudden,
guys.
that's when we played the trailer. We got noticed by Kurt Kroger, who's a friend of Billy's. He was on the road with Poison, I think, and the Bullet Boys. He's from this area. Happened to come into the Tri-Lighter, and that's when I smashed that chair on the wall and everything, man. We were crazy. He comes up to us and says, you guys want to sign a record deal? Go out to California? And we're like, yeah, sure.
Let's do that.
Why wouldn't
That's
you?
a
So
good
that's
plan.
what happened. You took off and you moved to
Yeah, we took
LA
off right away. Yeah, well, no, San Francisco.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
What was the scene like out there? I mean, did you?
Man, it was crazy. It was like I remember the way we got out there is we bought a school bus on the side of the road. It was $500 school bus, had Faith Church on the side of it.
Yes.
It had no seats in it. So, we threw all our equipment in there, threw a couple couches in there. We just took off and had a van that went out there. We finally get out there. We call our manager up. We're like, here we are. We're in San Francisco. Okay, I'll come meet you. Well, this is a studio you guys are going to record. Showed us the studio. And now we're going to show you where you're going to rehearse at. Drove us to Fairfax. We followed him in the bus. The frickin' bus made it there. We unloaded our equipment in this big church. It was a huge church. It was so amazing. And our bus had Faith Church on the side. of it. I'm
Yeah,
like, wow,
that's a trip.
crazy. So then, we unloaded all our equipment. Then he said, well, what are you guys going to do now? I was like, well, we need a place to sleep. Well, you can't stay at my house. We're like, okay, where can we stay? He's like, I know a great place, Sammy
got a
P.
bus
Taylor
right
Park. You go up the mountain here, and I'll direct you guys there. And there's a little RV place. You can camp right out there. And we're like, that's where we need to go then. So we we all pack ourselves in the bus, start following our manager up this freaking huge mountain. All of a sudden, the bus broke down about 3 times on the way out there.
Oh,
It took us about
geez.
a week anyway. But our bus, all of a sudden, we get almost to the top, and it starts going backwards. It shut off, and I remember standing in the bus going, holy shit, we're going to go over the side of the freaking mountain. We start going backwards like that. And the bus comes right to the edge of the freaking mountain. I shit you not. And Gordon's standing on the brakes. Stop
Of course,
the bus.
Gordon's driving.
I'm like,
Love you, Gordon.
we would have went over the side. Dude, if we would have had all that equipment on and if we happened to just not take all that equipment off, we probably would have went right over the freaking mountain.
Wow.
That's insane.
And we wouldn't be talking right now.
Yeah.
So but we got it started, and we were up on we got it started again, and it was up on the top of the mountain. That's where we stayed for about 2 months. We lived on this mountain, And I just remember looking out of the bus. I'm like, we're on top of a freaking mountain. There's cows and there's pastures. Like, we're in California and there's cows.
Yeah, dude.
Sure.
It's Surfing USA.
But we had a van that we would, that we would drive around in the van to look for stuff to do, during the day. We went like down to Haight Street and all that, and like I just remember like it was freaks, man, everywhere. Like people walking around with incense in their beards and all that. Like doses, buds.
Wow.
We're like, yeah, we'll take some buds, man.
So how long did you stay out there? I mean,
well, that was what, 1991. I was out there 13 years with the band.
Wow.
With them. Yeah, a long time.
Now, you guys did not keep the name Suicide Saloon.
Well, at that point, see, we got signed to that label, and we went on, make a long story short, we went on KRQR's, which is a San Francisco station out there, and it was supposed to be an interview about our album coming out. Our singer, Jay, quit the band.
Oh, no.
Right at that point, where we're like, we had MCA Records, RCA interest, and our independent label, they were working for us, trying to get us signed to a major.
And what was his reason?
yeah,
I mean,
why did he quit the band?
Different musical differences, plus it was hard, man, because we were living in a bus.
Right.
He just was, we could take it. We were like, it doesn't matter how we're living,
Right.
I don't care.
I could take that maybe for about 6 months.
It takes a special person to be able to live like that. But
Yeah, I do. I also.
I've lived off, I had a bed one time as a piece of foam, and I was fine with that, But I'm like, if the band's doing good, that's
Exactly, you
what
got to
matters.
sacrifice.
When you guys came back,
Yeah.
it was kind of a big deal for the people that the people in the shadows that are kind of wondering what the fuck you guys were gonna do.
Yeah.
And you came back, and I just remember the age I was out with Jerry Freeze.
Yeah.
And we went and saw you. It's upstairs somewhere downtown in that building. It's like a big ballroom or something.
That's the Apollo, right?
Yeah, it was the Apollo. Yeah, you talked about
there
that
on 3rd Street.
And so,
or actually 4th Street.
when I saw you, though,
that's right.
I just remember there being a stark gap between what I was seeing on stage and what I was used to seeing local bands do.
Right.
Because it seems like the par went up with you guys as far as presence
before their time.
Yeah,
and the
for
look.
sure.
Well, I'm
It
just
was
saying.
happening in
I
LA,
remember,
but
you know
here
when you
too,
go
like-
see a band that's a big band, you get close enough to the stage and you smell that smell of fucking rich people or like rock stars. I don't know how to explain that, but they don't smell like
Now, are you talking about an actual smell? Or are you talking about
actual
some
smell.
other
Wow.
aura?
I just remember
or
there
energy
being-
that's
still be
epitomized best by the idea of smell.
My mind was taking in everything. You take in the visual, you take in the smell. You guys must have been wearing good cologne that night or something. But to me, I was just like,
We could afford it back then.
I just remember it being visually professional, and everybody knew their parts. There was nobody, missing parts. It seemed like a well-oiled machine, and I was like, that is what you got to do.
I remember
how we got
you
like
guys, though. I mean, this is early on. I remember you guys had actual segues between songs to where it seemed like you were listening to somebody do a set for an arena.
Wasn't it the Apollo show that you on your way back you barely made it there? Was that the one, or was that the one that you played at the Trilighter? Because I remember seeing you guys there too.
Barely made it there?
Yeah,
the
to where
show?
basically you had to.
Bass players don't remember shit, man.
yeah, right.
You told me the story. That's what's funny about it. That's what's funny about this. Basically, the guy that was driving you and Gordon here was so messed up that he basically, you guys said, "Let me out of the car."
Oh, yes. I know what
Yes,
you're talking
yes.
about. Yeah, we were coming back
And I
on
don't
a
doubt this
vacation.
story one bit.
We
That's
were
what's
coming
hilarious.
back to, I think it was Christmas or something, holidays, and
It was
and
one of
Gordon
them
said,
gigs, yeah.
yeah, this guy was going to drive us back.
I mean, you came all the way back here
His
to
name
do
was
a gig
Mario.
from California. So.
Dude, I remember sitting in the back seat, and Gordon's in the front seat. And Mario's driving all this. He's driving like a complete retard, man. We're going down frickin' hills and shit, man. He's like, tweaked out of his mind. I said, Gordon, man, we can't be sitting in this car with this dude, man, any longer. We made him take us to a bus station. We got a ticket. Me and Gordon got on the bus from Nebraska and went back to Iowa, and we watched Mario go. See you later, tweaker. He gets back in the freaking car and he starts going the wrong way. Going back, he's like, I'm going to California. I'm going back there. Fuck you guys. he starts going east.
Yeah, so naturally he drove east.
And that's a true story. Yeah, that is a true story, man.
Well, that's
That's
wild.
not one of the
funny.
funniest ones.
Yeah.
But
No,
Good
that's
thing
wild.
you survived it. That's what
We did.
Yes.
Nah, no shit.
Well, I guess that's your claim to fame, right? That's like the big one that put you on the ride for a little bit, and you kind of got to see that there's really not such thing as a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Right.
A little bit. I mean, I don't want to be a bummer, but I'm just
No.
saying it just seems like most stories. I mean, how much money did you make?
We didn't make any money.
How many records did you sell?
We did a lot of records. We didn't sell any. We've got dude. There's our albums are on iTunes.
I've got one of them.
I had to buy the record.
Yeah, right.
Actually, off iTunes, I did download it on my other phone.
So naturally, you received a royalty check.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, of course you didn't. No, you said you don't mean to be a bummer. I liked being a bummer. I like being a bummer. There's part of me that is fascinated by the dissipated rock and roll dream. There's something that's just fascinating about how we had this idea about how we wanted things to go,
Yeah.
and that the reality of it just doesn't really line up. And it's fascinating to me.
I think we were too immature at that point. You know, we were a mess. We were, partying a lot.
Right.
We had people that were trying to help us, push us, pull us this direction, that direction, suit and tie guys. We had contracts stuck in front of us, RCA Records, MCA.
Well, they thought that maybe you were a reasonable investment. Like maybe they could cash in on you. But
Right.
if there's something about what's happening that, they start getting cold feet about that, they start thinking to themselves, maybe I don't want to sink my money here.
And we did too. We
yeah.
were like, we'd see a contract and be like, we can't afford a freaking entertainment
Right.
to look at
Right.
this. We didn't even have
Right.
money.
So when you
we
were-
tried to
but you
do it
run the risk
ourselves.
of then
When
having
you
somebody
sign-
own
And
your
we'd
ass.
fight between ourselves.
When you signed the
wanna
deal-
sign this? No, I don't want to.
When you signed the first deal-
Right, yeah.
maybe we should. Or,
You guys are all on camera.
His neck is stuck in my ear.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know you guys were like that, but that's all right.
Very awkward.
Told you I wanted to sit on his lap.
Willie, Willie, you're all
I mean,
wet.
when you signed the deal, was there money involved as far as upfront money?
there was in the contract, but we never saw any.
Nobody
upfront
told you
money.
about
No. No.
Man, but I mean that's the thing. I mean,
All right, so-
who knows what kind of fine print's in there where they're like,
91.
I mean,
and-
at least
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, that's a
from what I
horrible time
remember.
to
I
have
don't remember
original.
seeing
That's a
any
transition
amount,
time from
Yeah.
Poison
Try to
to-
talk one at a time if you
Yes,
can, because
yes,
people
yes.
listening will get irritated as shit.
Yes, I can
Yeah.
imagine. Sorry, Ronnie.
There may have been. I just maybe
Sorry,
don't
somebody's got to
remember.
rein in the podcast, and it's me. So I get to look like the asshole. Quit hitting the table
I'm
and
used
quit
to that,
fucking
Brian.
talking at the same time.
There I go again.
It'll look like an earthquake, and everybody, blah, blah, you know what I mean?
This
It's
fucking
come across
podcast
pretty
in
good.
Tokyo. What the fuck are they doing?
But
Fucking Godzilla. Big
when was
fucking-
it? When was it, Ron? That it dawned on you? Because I'm sure that you had when that happened. You're like, oh man, the ride's on. My life is set now. I'm going to be a rock star, and this is what it's going to be. Did you have that feeling?
Oh, all the time. A lot of the time. I mean,
So you pretty much felt
at
like that was it.
At the very beginning, yeah, because when Suicide Saloon started taking off in the Quad Cities, it was amazing. And I just remember people. I was like, whoa, we're getting big, dude. What's going on here? People want our autographs and shit. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay, I'm signing autographs. I'm like, and then we went to California. I'm like, okay, now it's a whole different land out here. We don't know anybody
Nobody
here.
cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big
But
fish in a little
we did
pond.
build up ourselves pretty quick, though. Our manager at that time and our label set us with, LSD, that band and all
Like
that.
the band LSD kids.
And the drug.
Yeah. But, and then when Jay quit on us. We went on KRQR.
Was it a shock?
Jeff Watson from Night Ranger was friends with our guitar player. He was trying to help us out. We were going to record in his studio and do some other stuff, recording there, finish some stuff that we were working on with the album, but then Jay quit. And we went on KRQR in San Francisco with Mimi Chin. That's the freaking San Francisco radio station. It was supposed to be about us, Now we're looking for a singer,
Damn
and our
it.
label was pissed because we're like, we got to get another singer now. They just spent all this money on our recording.
Right.
We told them, we're like, we're going to get another singer and we're going to re-record everything. We're going to scratch all this shit.
You scratch it all?
Pretty much.
Oh.
Well, not the music.
I was going to say, yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. A lot of it is.
You got fucking prima donnas.
We were assholes.
You already did all
that's
that
why,
work.
That's why the labels hated us. They were like, you guys just don't want to do anything that we want. You know?
Yeah,
like,
right.
No, we don't.
I guess
We're going to do
not.
it our way. We thought we were smart then. You know, we thought we're going to stick to our guns. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to re-record this label. They're like, no, you're not. We've spent all this money, and we're like, well, fuck you then. You know, that's basically how it ended. It ended that relationship.
That was it, huh?
I think they either dropped us or we quit. We quit, pretty much.
You guys quit, yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to rein this in because I wanted to
Bite the
get
hand that
some of
feeds
the
you.
Suicide Saloon, but we got everybody here, so we're going to try to.
Yeah, which we got to hear from this man right here.
I think that
Oh,
this
shit.
would be a good time for us to spin a Suicide Saloon tune
Sure.
and have people kind of listen to some of it, and then we'll come back and we'll chat about some upcoming things that we're working on, and we'll try to get everybody involved here. Cool. So this one's called what is it? You want Tongue and Groove? Is that what the one you wanted me to spin?
I guess that's the hit that we had. So.
Okay. All right. So here's Tongue and Groove, Suicide Saloon. We'll be back.
Tongue and groove. And that's a place where she should be. Tongue and groove. Tongue and groove. Tongue and groove. Tongue and groove, yeah. Tongue and groove, whoa. Tongue and groove. Tastes like sugar, yeah.
And we're back. So that was a little taste of Suicide Saloon. I just wanted to make sure that we got that out of the way. I could have a whole podcast with you, like I said before. I mean, about all that stuff.
Oh,
but
you got a lot of stories.
While we have all three of you guys here, let me. Again, you guys are in a cover band now called Bleach, which is a Nirvana tribute band. And you're going to be playing with, which is odd. We've talked about this before, but August 22nd, we're going to be playing outside at Purgatory for the big
that's gonna be fun.
outside street fest or whatever the hell it is. And you're playing with Dive Bomb, which is an 80s hair metal tribute band.
I love it.
And Travis asked me, what'd you say?
I said, so now that there's a Nirvana tribute band, does that mean that all of the 80s tribute bands should break up? I mean,
Well, he asked who's playing first.
Yeah, you got too many freaking lovers for that shit. I'm telling you, you've got too many girls going, no, that 80s shit is not stopping.
Yeah, it ain't
I don't
stopping.
care."
Oh, it's stopping.
No, I'm
But
telling
no, you said
what'd I
who
say?
plays first?
Who plays first?
Yeah, because
That's
it should
right.
be the hair metal band, and then you guys should just start setting up right in front of us and like playing, and then we just kind of cut our hair
Fade
and go
away.
home. You know what I mean?
We should just play in the corner or something.
Yeah.
Totally,
down.
man.
You guys were talking about getting Moen as your drummer, and I was like, oh, perfect.
We went
Moen's-
through a couple drummers, man, and and I think Randy called me and was like,
this is
I talked
actually
to
the
Michael.
fourth project I put together. I've started this out when I was I went back to college for music, and I started up with a couple 19-year-old kids. It's like you guys like Nirvana? Well, fuck yeah, we like Nirvana. So it was Nate Spainhauer and Tim Reismus out at school. We got together. Next thing you know, there's freaking 20 songs, like boom, in like 2 hours time. It was like, fuck, how'd this happen?
Marvelous.
All right. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're going our own separate ways because they're kids, they're 19, 20 years old. We're going to college, we're going to this school, that school, fine, cool. Then I found a couple fellas that were in a Tool tribute band, a bass player and a drummer. They were both out of Burlington, so every time we get together, we make sure we get homework put together, and next thing you know, we had 20. Where we're at right now, we're at like 30 songs. It was like in 8 weeks. We've been together, 8 weeks maybe?
Yeah, I think we practiced like 8 times.
It's nothing to learn a song, man. It's just
Ronnie's a veteran over here. He's like,
Yeah, he is,
Randy's
too, man.
talking
He
about
is.
it like you guys are like an original band. Like, yeah, we came up with the idea for Teen Spirit when we heard it on the radio.
It was like a project I've been wanting to build for a long time, just
Right.
because it's like,
I gotta say,
personally, I think the guy was murdered. Okay, for one.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh,
that's my opinion. Okay, if I'm gonna kill myself, I'm gonna use my dominant hand. And his dominant hand was wrapped around the freaking muzzle of a freaking shotgun. I'm
gonna CGI a cock in your hand, by the way. No, my personal opinion, and I know that we got dudes that you guys are a tribute band, and I'm in a tribute band. But I gotta tell you, man, there's too many fucking tribute bands. A tribute to Tool.
I've never been in a tribute band. To me, it's like a challenge.
Yeah.
So there's a band touring.
Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah.
The band that covers
AC/DC. We got AC/DC tribute bands.
I know,
playing
but
all over the
I'm-
place.
what I'm trying to say is,
and there's
Love
still
Electric
AC/DC
Shock, by the way.
no,
Yeah,
but
Electric
let me
Shock.
clarify that.
freaking guys.
I didn't say that you guys were what pushed me over the edge. I'm saying that I think that there's certain bands that deserve a tribute band, and I think Nirvana is one of them.
Oh, yeah,
But a
definitely.
Tool tribute band, I'm not so fucking sure. If somebody called me and was
Right.
like, "Hey, dude, you want to be in the Tool
I
thing?
couldn't do that.
We're gonna be a Tool tribute band, I'm gonna be like, when are we gonna play?
They better be really good
Right.
musicians.
You know?
Who shows up for the Tool
That's what
tribute
I was
show?
thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think anyone.
it was
I
either
wouldn't to see the drummer.
hardcore people would, but
Yeah, they would.
you know,
Yeah.
It
But-
was either a Pantera tribute band or Nirvana.
I couldn't
and
do
Nirvana
Pantera
has so
either.
much conspiracy around it, like JFK. It's going to go on forever.
yeah, I think
Okay.
you're right. Yeah.
All right. I mean,
I like Pantera, but I couldn't do a tribute thing with them. You know
With
what I mean?
No?
I mean, I love Pantera, but I don't know if.
Well, okay.
I know I wouldn't fit in that.
We'll go
Somebody
around.
else is
We'll
better
go
to
around
do
the
it.
horn here,
Yeah.
and I'll find like, what would your dream, Mike? What would your dream tribute band be?
True story, because of Gordon Doherty, which was in your band, AC/DC.
Oh, really? You want to be the dude?
Definitely.
I can off Mark the Cal for you.
Mark. No, I'm just kidding.
Mark's awesome.
Yeah,
He's
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
that,
The
you know,
best
the
drummer
4/4 beat. You know, that's why I play drums. I think. You know.
Yeah.
What would your? Are you in it?
my ultimate tribute band
Yeah.
is like put it all aside and write my own stuff. That's kind of my dream. Is
Tribute to Randall Ketelsen.
a tribute to just being happy and enjoying music. I mean, that's where it's coming down to. That's what the ultimate goal with this is. With the band is like, okay, you gotta scope. Okay, they've only got so much modern music. Okay, there's enough to fill up a whole night. Cool, I can book this show anywhere all night long for whatever amount of money. We won't go into specifics on that or specifics. But after that, I just want to grow into a writing thing because that is my ultimate dream. I mean, to be able to express myself, be who I am, say fuck you just like they did. You
Well,
know?
what's stopping you from doing that?
No, I still do it. I write under the name of Ratty Garrett for almost 15, 20 years now. And
Well, then your dreams are coming true, right? When people say I eventually want to write songs, I eventually want to do that. Well, then get towards it now because you can do it right now.
Yeah, that's
do
why-
anything you want right now. Yeah, exactly.
ASCAP. I went to an ASCAP conference at the end of April, May, and I found out how to get music licensed, how to get it out there right. So when you do write a song, you got to tag it the right way. You got to go through the right licensing label, or you're not going to get shit. Period. They're going to say you're giving your stuff away. People are stupid not to spend the extra $100 to say I'm with ASCAP and say I wrote this material. Here's my flag on it, okay? Just as soon as it gets played, I don't care if it gets played once. At least it's saying it got played once. I'm saying, okay, I got recognition for that. That's as a musician and as a songwriter, I think everybody should have that opportunity to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And
That's
as you
true.
can tell, Randy is the singer of the band. You guys fit the perfect cliche of each member of the band, too, by the way. What you need is like a lead guitar player that's like primping his hair on the side.
I used to
Pass me air, dude. That's me.
I write music. I write music, you guys, but it's usually I'll have a bottle of Jack or something and beer, and if somebody says they like it or not, I'll be like, great.
Well, that's
thanks.
really what you're going for, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good if you can pour your
I
heart
guess
out.
you have
But
to
then if
go
somebody
through
likes it, that's
ASCAP
the
and
bonus.
BMI and all that.
Well, I mean,
no,
I think what I was gathering from it was just the idea that sometimes in order to find people to, just because you have an idea for a song and you sit and you demo it yourself, that doesn't mean that that's the way that song goes. And I think when you are trying to find other people that you can have chemistry with, you got to have certain kind of fundamental, foundational
it's
musical
hard.
tastes in place, and a tribute band might be a good way to do that, to try to find some people that maybe have the same basic chemistry as you know. And
that is true. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
I think that might
that's
happen.
why I say keep an open mind. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to do anything like this. For me to be in a tribute band is something new for me. I've never done it. I'm like,
Yeah,
why
I never
not?
thought I would do a Nirvana
I'm usually
tribute.
He's the
open.
lead
Yeah.
guitar player
I'm
in the
usually
band.
open
You
to it, yeah.
realize
Yeah,
that the bass
right.
player's the lead
Lead
guitar
guitar player.
player.
Yeah.
He's working in
Yes,
a
he
Nirvana band.
Yeah.
And this guy picked it up like he was walking, man. I was like, holy shit.
amazing.
Wow. And he's
Thanks.
picking up the Kurst Novoselic shit like it was like nothing.
all over the place.
Well, it's easy for me. I don't know why.
It's
It's just
unbelievable.
natural.
it just makes sense to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just what I know.
That's terrific.
Well, I
better
think
at that than
as
anything
much as
else.
you say that it's good to get three people that are like-minded together to then go off and do something else. I think that when people put cover bands together, putting it under the guise of we're trying to do anything other than pack clubs and make money, then you're probably doing the wrong thing, right? I mean, your aim should be, look, let's have a good time. Let's
That's
try
what
to
it's
make
all
as much
about.
money as we can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let's play to hardly anybody and do originals, and lose money. Because you know how it is, man. You ain't gonna make money doing originals.
And I'll be the first one to say I don't even care about money, man. Even when I you know.
Clearly.
I've done, man. You know,
Clearly,
I really don't even care. You know what? I mean, sure, yeah, I like to make money, but you know, I do it for the fun of being up on stage. That's what I get off.
I'm with you, dude. I'm with you, man.
I lived through that whole transition of being in an original band and aiming to do all originals.
That's what I like too.
And
I love that.
You know, but Drop Hammer did that, and we did that for years until you find out that bars aren't going to hire you.
I know.
For they want 3 or 4. They want like 4 hours of material, and fuck if you're a new band, you don't have 4 hours of shit. You're trying to book like an hour.
California was different, man. Everybody out there did originals. It was like a whole different thing, man.
And it was the balance between wanting to play all the time and be in front of people and get that drug of being the bar star, and doing originals. And then you found out that there's no way of doing that in that era, in the like 96
and
around.
They didn't make money.
There wasn't anything like that. No, there's no money. But in order to make money, then you had to play covers. Period. And so we started playing fucking covers and our originals. And I remember battling with the band backstage because I was one of the sellouts. I was one of the guys that was like, "Fuck the Drop Hammer originals, man. Not tonight. There's just there's 12 girls out there that are waiting to dance. They don't want to hear Drop Hammer.
Yeah, they want to hear the covers.
Right. Yeah, and everybody else was like, Brian, but we're Drop Hammer, keep it original. And that was the problem, is I was wanting to be a bar star too quick. I wanted that attention right off the bat, and that kills the originals. So, and then when you sneak an original in, because everybody said that. Here's how you do it, man. You play fucking covers, you get everybody packed in, then you fucking play originals.
That's exactly
that way everybody has time to go get a drink.
I think there's too much. I really think there's way too much thought process into it. I think it should be separated into 2 separate entities.
Yeah.
Completely marketed in 2 separate ways. You got to go about it to saying, okay, I got this music. I got to go to a publisher with it. Okay, there's probably 40 publishing companies in America that will listen to your music. You just label it saying it's this style, and when they will need that style, they'll go through it, find it, and pick it.
Nobody knew anything of fucking about that back in 1996.
I mean, that's how it is nowadays.
No. But bands that are ahead of the game, like Furious Hollow, that they knew how to do it. They had a game fucking plan. Any band that I've known around, you even said it. You just got lucky. Somebody came in and saw you.
I think they just threw it down and had a good time, because that's how most bands are.
I think
it's just throw it down and have a good time.
You go out there and you gotta have the songs to back you, man. First of all,
that's what I mean. What I was getting at is the people that wanted.
I think they were more business oriented than that. Actually,
the people that wanted to dance,
I think they were. Yeah,
wanted to hear. Jesse's Girl and Hurt So Good and shit like that. And then if Drop Hammer sneaking in like In Shock or Walk with the Brave or something after them songs is going to be such a stark difference. It's like it's like busting out a Maiden song in the middle of a fucking.
If you don't have the songs, man, you could write. Let's not
forget about the audience, because
the
audience that goes to a bar to see a cover band, not to. Once again, for the millionth time, wax intellectual about it, but it's the idea that the people that go out, the big people that were like disco heads in the early days, when it didn't make sense to older people, the idea of going out and listening to recorded music. Now, why would you want to go do that? Go listen to somebody play records. You can do that at home, right? Right. Well, what you've got is 2 different audiences. You've got one audience that's sort of afraid of new things. They want to go out and hear the thing they know, because that's their little.
That's how.
No. They're neophobic.
I don't want to step on you, but not only that, but that's their barometer of how good your fucking band is if you play shit that they recognize.
Yeah, and play it in such a way that the distortion in your representation doesn't.
You could be Dream
their
Theater.
Fucking dance.
You could be Dream Theater and be playing that Rascals, and nobody knows who you are, incognito, and play all night covers that everybody knows, and then whip out Pull Me Under, and people will fucking go out and have a smoke.
That's right.
Besides people that know Pull Me Under, I'm just saying if they were unknown and they were that band,
that
they were here.
Audience is going there for their fucking security blanket.
Right.
They're there for their fucking thing that they already know what it is.
It's hard for an original band to capture the audience.
It is.
And it's hard for being in an original band and playing to minimal people and having the energy, having everybody still play like they're playing at Madison Square Garden, because that's what it takes.
You also have to have...
I went and seen Styx at the fair.
I think you
And
just gotta
they
blow
played
'em away.
like 3 originals. They played like 3 originals. Bam Perry, 3, or not originals, I'm sorry, covers.
Yeah.
And then Bam Perry last night played 3 covers. And they played Bruno Mars. Everybody went crazy. And then they went back to their songs and everybody was
Right.
like,
You
no,
mean
again.
Styx
Yeah.
did that?
No, not Styx.
Oh, okay.
The Bam Perry.
The Bam
last
Perry.
I was
night.
gonna say it's
So-
not like Styx don't have any fucking hits,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
It's,
dude.
it's like
No, I saw somebody post
They didn't even
Renegade,
put- I
yeah.
mean, they should have played all the other ones that, all the good ones, but the Mr. Roboto, all that stuff, but they ended up playing covers, and it was like, because that's what the crowd wants to hear. Even the professionals are doing that.
Like what I was talking to Travis about earlier, there's a book by Ralph Murphy called The Murphy's Law of Songwriting. All right, it's not the fucking song, or it's not the artist that's performing the song. It's a song. Everything's got to be put into the song. It don't matter who the artist is. They got to have the fire and the desire behind it to put it out there and make it what it is. But that same song will go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever under each artist that freaking captures that desire and rekindles that flame.
Are you
at
talking
that
about
moment.
covering a song?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Correct.
Yeah, Carrie Underwood just sang "I Remember You" by Skid Row,
And I'll bet it was
I bet
bad
she- I bet
and
Oh,
ass.
great.
she
Yes, she's a great
fucking
singer.
smoked it. I made a
Dude,
comment on the last
that
podcast
fucking
about
chick.
not being
Oh, my God.
not being a big fan of girl singers singing rock songs, and I got to clarify that girl singers that sing like lower register, it's like they're not in the right register to
Yeah.
be girls that are trying to sing
Yeah.
in
They're-
this.
They're not in their power
yeah,
band.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's-
But
Yeah.
to sing, hearing her sing Sebastian Bach stuff,
That's awesome. I want to hear that.
she sounded like Sebastian Bach
Right
back in the
on.
day. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? She
Yeah.
sounded like the record. And you're talking about a professional vocalist, not a guy that got lucky with some
Yeah.
hit songs that's a
Yeah.
drinker and a partier and wants to fuck girls all the time instead of caring about his voice.
Right.
Kelly Clarkson's like constantly on her game. She's
Yeah.
a pro.
She's
American
awesome.
Idol.
Yeah, you can't go out in front of a country audience and suck. Everybody there is real critical. Have you noticed that? Like people that go see country bands, they're very critical of their country singers.
That's the
Yeah.
Alamo of live original music.
But
I
rock
mean, that's
bands
the
get away
last
with-
fucking
Rock
economy.
bands get away with sucking, and then people are still like, they were awesome, man.
To sort of carry out where I was going with the whole, people who are afraid of new things or neophobes, that if you're in an economy where there are a lot of people who are neophiles, people that are looking for new things, you'll find that there's a lot of stuff that would never be acceptable by the people that are sort of afraid of new things because they're looking for the perfect representation of the thing they already know. But
I absolutely agree
But
with that.
if you're in a city where there's a big original music scene, there's all sorts of things that would just be not acceptable that are completely acceptable. In fact, it's even better that it's wrong, so to speak, because wrong is different and new. You
We
know?
were wrong.
And that's important.
Suicide
Nirvana
Saloon.
was wrong.
We
Yeah, they
wrong.
were. They were.
We were
I'm gonna
wrong
wear a
when we-
dress that day at our show.
Fuck
too.
Awesome,
yes, dude.
You know, the last time I saw you play live, Randy, you were wearing buttless chaps. And
No,
I'm
wait
not-
a minute.
And I'm
Aren't all chaps assless?
Well, let me put it this way.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, great. You made your point, but
Chapless,
that's all.
No,
I mean, people wear
had
jeans
boy
under them. He wore like a
shorts.
thong underwear under it, and I do not thank you for that. But I'm a guy. I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm not.
So does the carpet match the drapes?
Yeah,
sticking out the
yeah. His
side.
pubes are pink, orange, and yellow. Man. Yeah.
You'll find out here in about 20
If
minutes.
it'll get chicks to the audience or to our show, then that's fine. Wear them. Do what you want. I just won't look at you.
Shocking on, man. It's about the world.
So what's it like to work with Ketelsen, you guys? I mean, because I'll be honest with you, Mike called me one time and he's like, "Hey man, what's up with this Ketelsen guy? What's he like and stuff?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I don't really know that much. I've never played in a band with him." That's how you get to know somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
What it is basically I knew him when I met you. I guess
Okay.
you were the first. Excuse me. You were the.
Go ahead and grab that fucker and put it right by your mic. You got a sexy voice, man. Go ahead.
So you were one of the guitar players for Smash Alley, right? Right. That's how you were. I was the drummer in your first band, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, our history goes way back.
I
You
would
want
have
to
to
touch on
say
that?
that is my first band. So what a coincidence. Yes.
Let me tell you, this is how I met Mike. Okay, this
Yeah.
is little Brian Miner when he was first coming into the game. There's an ad in the phone in the paper. because you guys had a manager. It said,
How I beat you to that position to be first in this band, I have no idea because I was from the country, dude. This is
I don't know, but I'll tell you,
Anyway,
it was
I know
like this.
how,
I was a
anyway.
young kid, I saw, maybe my mom brought it to my attention. Hey, look, there's a band here. They're looking for a lead guitar player, and I was like, no shit, man. Here I am, 16 or 17, something like that. And they said, yeah, you got to call their manager. So I called the manager, who was actually
my stepsister Kim. Yes.
okay, that was the manager. So I thought they had like a real manager, And,
Kim Bell.
I remember because they say, okay, you guys, you sent me, you told me a few songs to learn. Easy Come, Easy Go, or Sleazy Come, Easy Go is what the song I was supposed to learn. But I learned Easy Come, Easy Go by Tesla. So
that's awesome.
Which made for a really good audition. Yeah. So I remember this is the good part. I was serious. I got my PV Bandit and my Charvel fucking in the case, and I'm standing there. I had my mom meet me. She dropped me off at the gas station somewhere on way on the west end of Davenport to meet the manager, who then picked me up with my Bandit and my bowl cut and my boat shoes and my shit, because I was a preppy little kid. And so she throws me in this. She throws me in this car, drives me out to the sticks, out into the fucking farmland. And I just remember walking in the room as this green kid that's never been. You guys to me were already rock stars because you had a band with gigs. You were talking about a 16-year-old here.
Yeah.
And I walk into the room and here's Mike, and he's sitting behind the drums, just kind of like, hey, dude. I remember. I don't think he had shoes on or anything like that.
Probably not.
Long black hair down to here.
Yeah.
He looked like the coolest fucking rock star you ever seen, And I was like, well, that guy's intimidating, And then there was
Dude, I was your age, man.
Yeah.
I was
right.
like,
You were the only one I could talk to. You're like, good luck, man. All right. Hey, you really gonna wear them boat shoes?
Yeah. Right.
Maybe. And I remember because the conversation after we did the audition, which I had my guitar jacked up to here, and
Yeah.
I'm like, Arpeggios, holy
you're right.
cow.
And you guys went in the other room, and I could still hear you assholes. And you guys were out there and like, hey man,
he's almost too
he
good.
looks like shit, man. But he can play like, he plays awesome, but his hair will grow, man. You guys are arguing like, your hair was funny.
He's not in, dude. He's not in.
I can still picture it.
His head looks like a lampshade.
It was awesome. And then I remember like we played a week at the Clipper or something together, and that was quite an experience.
Oh yes,
I looked up to Mike a lot.
It is a big experience.
When Cinderella came out, Night Songs was the first real hi-hat I got for Christmas to play Night Songs. So, I used to play
Cinderella.
I used to put my floor tom in the middle of my legs, that I got from Sears. That had duct tape all over them, and just do this, But then, right when Cinderella came out, that's where I want Mom, please give me a drum set with a hi-hat because it's a.
You want that open hi-hat,
So,
yeah.
And then it just went from there, but yeah.
And then the Smash Alley thing crashes immediately, kind of like your tour bus going up the hill.
Exactly.
And we played a few gigs. The singer
Rock
quit
Falls or something, and
somebody,
Clipper and
whoever you guys had as a singer that wasn't at the audition, quit.
Yeah.
And
I'm
Randy
trying to
Sass
remember his name.
filled in for a while. Anyway, all these names.
Yeah.
But and then I don't even hear from you until no. I take this back. Something really traumatic happened to me. Because Smash Alley was falling apart, and at this time, there were several bands that were around. Wrecking Machine, or were they Eye for an Eye?
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Purgatory's Ivory Angel.
There's all these bands that are around, and then all of a sudden, this super group was forming. Okay,
Amazon Blonde.
Amazon
Blonde, that's right.
And I'm like, oh, I'm for sure getting picked in this bitch. You know what I mean? I'm for sure gonna be the guitar player in this band. I'm like, I'm ready. You want me to
who's
just
that?
bring my shit over now, or what? And they're like, no, we got Terry Cortez.
Terry Cortez, that's what I was going to
And
say.
I was like, what? He's like, I was like, okay, fine,
Terry,
whatever.
Tim Logs.
Terry's a good
Right,
buddy.
right, yeah.
We talk all the time.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
So I
man.
get
Trying to
casted
put
out.
something
I'm,
Of course,
Yeah.
Todd Hubert. Yep.
I'm out. You know what I mean? And you get in.
God bless us.
Right, you were the original. You were the first. You were the drummer that they picked, right?
Yeah. I just happened to be in Smash Alley at the time at the Clipper, and they're like, "Hey, that guy has a double bass and it looks new, and his cymbals aren't broken." So
He's got cool fucking hair.
let's see if he'll do it.
It's not. This guy can play. Hey, this guy spent some money.
Yeah. Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah, exactly. He's a drummer. This kid's parents must be rich.
Yeah, right.
And then after Amazon Blonde falls apart or whatever happened with that, I didn't see you for years and years and years. And years.
Yeah, 8 years. Yeah,
And you resurfaced in a band with Jerry Freeze. You guys were called the Pie-Eyed Pipers.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
was fucking a hideous name, by the way.
It was Spectre, and then
Okay, yeah, Spectre, and then you guys turned into that.
And then you showed up and saw us open up for Cheese Pizza up at the Pigpen in Clinton. You're like, dude, let's be called Spank and we'll get a monkey that passes out bananas. And I was like,
No, let's do it, dude. I would
That's
like
a terrific
that, man.
idea. Said the guy who came up with the name Pie-Eyed Pipers.
Yeah, exactly. I saw a cover band that had you in it. First of all, Mike Ritchie is a fun guy and great bass player and great backup singer, and of course Freeze. He's dedicated. He's gonna know all of his parts and shit. I was like, I could walk into this band and just be the singer. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I wanted to do.
and you did.
And I did. Well, see, much to your chagrin and a few people in the band, I from what I remember, you guys had to really deliberate on that for a while to bring me
'cause
around.
we had a good thing going. I mean, a 3-piece band like that. I mean, we were playing some kick-ass tunes, So it was a hard decision, and
One fewer people to divide between at the end of the night, too.
It ended up working out, for a while.
Yeah.
That's how Hellfast was. We were
Yeah.
a 3-piece band. First gig we played on was actually on Amazon Blonde.
Wow.
They're
You're talking
set on
about
a Sunday night at the
Hellfast.
Clipper.
Hellfast, yeah.
Hellfast with
Which
Lonnie
that's the
Tag.
first band I knew you in.
Yeah, it was
You and Lonnie,
Tag, Chris Carruthers,
Chris
and
Carruthers,
myself.
yeah.
And,
Which my high school band was always trying to horn in on your guys' gigs, man. We would show up and be like, "Could we play?" I totally remember.
Oh yeah! Oh wow! No,
Yeah.
I don't remember that. But
By the
Yeah.
way, Hellfast is a cool name.
That's
Yeah.
what I was going to say. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
man,
a cool
that's a
name.
cruel.
That's not a band. There's not like a band out there like that.
Marge wouldn't hire us to start out with, so we
Well, I got the name-
we called it live sex on stage at first,
What is
and
it, live
then
sex
she's
on
like, "That ain't
stage?"
gonna work." Okay, I'm like, she
got a flashlight?
wouldn't put Hellfast up there because she's
Oh.
like, that's not Christian enough, That's not a Christian.
The Clipper ain't Christian
yeah.
at
I was
all.
gonna say.
It's Margie. Margie put me up in the vacant massage parlor between. I
Nice,
was there. I lived
yeah.
in that place for like 2 fucking months and shit in the alley. Okay, and I'm like, I've had enough. All right,
Mike
But-
DePaul.
Yeah, Mike.
Mikey, I love that guy to pieces. I mean, there's a lot of good camaraderie that comes out of that era.
Oh, for sure.
And it was only like a year and a half, 2 years of my life. There's so much stories there with the Clipper. Obviously, you guys have talked about them.
We've covered
Well, that
tip
I
of
mean,
the
I was only
iceberg.
there just
that was
this long, and it was like when you played there, you were there all week. And
Yeah.
you lived
you
all
played
week
6
long.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6
Yeah,
days.
that was tough.
Yeah,
It was
and-
awesome, though. You
I-
lived it. I mean, it was.
But there's
You got
no
good at those
better,
songs.
There's no
It
better
felt Saturday
you got really
night.
good at it.
Saturday night
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah.
I'm
There's no
telling you.
better boot
Yeah.
camp for
Singing
a
for
16-year-old kid
Right,
than
for sure.
playing 6 nights
Yeah.
at the Clipper.
Yeah.
Because I went from fucking playing in my bedroom staring at docking posters, like, hey, man, yeah, to fucking watching people do lines of Coke on the table,
Yeah.
fucking people passing out, bottle fights, what I
We
mean?
need to
see
bring
that?
that back.
The
The more
real
we talk
deal.
about this,
You know,
the more I
real-
think we need to bring
real
that
deal.
back.
You remember, Mike, there's nothing worse than fucking, you're hanging out thinking you're cool and you got your fucking shit going on, you're standing by, we got to play another set real quick. So that's cool, man. I'll see you after the show. You turn around, you climb up that swimming pool ladder. You're like, you know what I mean? You're trying to figure out. Some dudes were cool. They just jump off and land on the bar and then jump off the bar. I was one of the buttholes that was like doing the fucking Donkey Kong climb to get up there. Hey, I'll see you in a minute.
Nice.
Wasn't there like 2 swimming pool ladders?
Yes,
It's like,
yes.
I
There was
don't fucking
one,
know.
yes. But,
That was just weird.
Yeah. I mean, but you'll
It's funny
never see
shit.
that ever again to where you're playing on a stage where everybody's sitting at the bar looking
Right.
at you like that. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no bars like that anymore. And,
Yeah.
I think it's a darn shame.
It's a cabaret setup.
Yeah, Hellfast. Well,
I mean, it's
Hellfast
been
when
around
Nirvana
since-
was
Yeah.
popular. We were a 3-piece, so everybody's like, play Nirvana. So we played Nirvana back in them days too.
Yeah,
So
cool.
that was one of my deals. So they came out with the skirt. So I wore a skirt and no underwear. So I got up on that stage, and they were girls were pulling back my skirt and going, "Oh my god, look at that!" And so they're showing half the bar of my freaking dick, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh."
Some
What was
guys
Mark?
have
Yeah.
all the luck.
Yeah, I know.
But-
Although I
but
think if you
the
wear
luck is
underwear, it's a
after
skirt. But if you don't, it's a kilt.
But
I just think
after
that's
the fact, it was like these guys like, you showed my old lady your fucking dick,
Oh.
man. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. I'm like,
You must have a big dick then.
Wait a
because
minute,
if
wait a
I'd
minute,
have done it,
man.
they'd have been laughing
I
my
didn't
ass
show them
off.
shit because I had a guitar around my neck, and I was just on.
Yeah,
Smoke.
well, obviously you shamed them. This means something.
Thank God.
All right.
Let's see. If I whip my dick out, there's going to be like 90% of the guys going, oh, thank God, man. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. I have a huge cock.
But it's a crazy fun time.
Hey, you're a grower, not a shower.
Right.
I was going to say the same thing, but I just remembered I do
That's what
have
you
a
said.
huge
Clipper
one.
was-
So
You do? Oh,
No,
you're slinging meat over there?
I don't know. No, maybe
So
not.
let's give a shout out to Lenny Kravitz for letting the fucking snake
Yeah,
out.
dude. Okay.
I still haven't Googled that and don't think I want to.
No,
My wife
here's the
did
deal.
last night. I made her.
Here's the deal. As predicted by our genealogical models, we have found that the penis size of the African American Jew is exactly average.
If you call that average, by the way, usually an average cock doesn't have a cock ring on it when it busts out of its pants. Did you notice that part of it?
No.
He had a fucking cock, like around the shaft at the bottom.
No
There's a big
shit.
brass ring around
Oh
that
my
fucker.
good
That's
God.
CGI, man. That shit ain't real.
You sure
Dude,
it wasn't a tattoo?
No, it wasn't.
That's Janet's tits, man. That's Janet Jackson's tits.
It doesn't even look like it's in the right place. It looks like it's hanging off of his butt cheek
It's
or
a
something.
wardrobe
you know?
malfunction.
I don't know. You could go Google that if you want to peck or check. But yeah, who didn't want to see? Come on, be honest. Who didn't want to see Lenny Kravitz's
Definitely not.
wanker? You know,
Definitely not.
You don't.
I'm
See, you've
already
always
too
been like
impressed
that.
with his six pack, dude.
Yeah.
I don't need to see any more than that.
Yeah.
But
I looked
we're
at
looking
it.
forward to the show on
Yeah,
the
man. I bet
22nd.
you are, man.
So the 22nd
yeah.
coming up here.
Are you get uncomfortable when you talk about dicks?
Because I noticed as soon as we started talking about dicks, you were like, "Oh, tour dates."
You fucking brought it up.
Here it goes. Here it goes.
Here, let me put this on wide angle first, man.
I don't know, Brian. I think maybe you could use a skylight in here.
Anyway, enough about dicks.
It's
all
a
right?
little gnarred up. Mine's a little gnarred up.
It's all tattooed and shit.
You're supposed to shake it, not wring it out.
Some fucking scars on
Chewed
it.
on a few times.
Looks like a dog toy.
Oh man.
That's why I love these guys.
Yeah,
I love these guys. It's nothing but fun. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We just say
when it
stupid
comes
crap.
to playing music with these
We don't
guys,
care.
it's nothing but fun, and we have a good time with what we do.
Dude, that's the way it ought to be.
Regardless
That's the
of
way it ought
people
to be.
like it, we've
That's
been
all it's-
on. We get negative response.
Yeah.
I get negative response because of the controversy around the band. But regardless, it's gonna be a good thing because that's all it was
we
a
do
good
it for
time,
fun,
man.
man.
That's all
Just-
it was about. It was a good
It's all
time.
about
man.
fun.
I'm glad to see Mike out drumming
Mike's
again,
awesome.
Yeah.
and I
Mike
think
is
that you
awesome.
belong in something like this instead of.
Not Avenged Sevenfold?
Well, you're a
because the drummer just got fired or whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
you're a typical drummer. I worked with you. I
Eric
remember when I
Flores,
came.
yes.
I remember when I came into the Pie-Eyed Pipers as a singer, and I immediately focused on you because I wanted you to be the best drummer that you could be. And you're
Yeah, you were kind of a
Yes.
dick, and I
He
appreciate the constructive criticism.
You're welcome. But listen, no, seriously. So thank you. What was happening, what it seemed like to me, what was happening is you were a better drummer than you were allowing yourself to be. Because you're a pretty reserved, you know, you don't have any ego problems or anything like that. You kind of were in a shell. And I noticed that you were playing a lot like just kind of looking down at your snare and you weren't looking up and stuff like that.
When back in the Amazon Blonde days, actually, I've been Smash Alley days. I used to do this.
Yeah,
and then
all that
I
stuff.
I remember Billy Ray getting mad at me, you know, because he was like, "Your snare's loud, and then it's not loud, and then it's loud, and it's not loud. Will you please quit
Compress
doing
it, bitch. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, right.
See,
Dynamic range.
No, but
Use the
he
dynamics.
was like, "You need to quit doing that stuff." You know,
You're talking about.
I was trying to, trying to be cool, and I
People-
just it kind of made me not want to do
They
it.
used to
anymore.
tell me to quit
Yeah.
doing shit
Yeah.
too, and I
You know,
was
'cause
always
he was
like,
he was an elder, and I was like,
Sure.
maybe he's right. You know,
Sure.
maybe I need to be
Well,
more consistent.
there's-
I like to be able to do that.
But there's
now.
studio drumming and there's live drumming, and nary the twain shall meet.
I don't
when-
know, but somebody's bashing it out and just bashing it out, regardless if they look sexy or not, because they can spin a stick
Yeah.
or not.
No, see, I'm not a
No.
believer in that, man. I'm going to go against everything you just said. Everything that has to do with energy is visual. You could fucking compress the drums. Look at Peter Criss when he came back with Kiss. He was tapping the drums like a little old lady, and it sounded like cannons. Doosh, 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 doosh. And you look at the big
Right.
screen, and he's
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
like this.
and you immediately get a limp dick. You're like, fuck. You want to see, somebody that looks like they're trying to hit the drums hard.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if it is a show, I
Yeah.
think that you're right in some kind of veins of music. A drummer is a drummer is a drummer. He can look however he wants and play however he wants. I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
bullshit. I think that it's all visual, man.
Well,
I think it's all visual.
You know, going back to the AC/DC thing, when I was introduced to Angus Young, I was like, that dude has so much energy on stage, and he's not doing it to be cool. I still don't believe that.
I don't think he is either.
He's doing that because he feels the music.
That's what I'm saying.
And when
Well, that's a beautiful
when I
thing.
quit teaching myself how to play guitar after Jingle Bells, then I was like, I'm just going to go beat these drums.
You actually
like Angus
learned
plays
Jingle Bells on guitar?
I did.
That was your first mistake.
And big balls.
Like I don't have a favorite like musician. Like people ask me like, who's your favorite bass player? I'm like, I don't freaking have a favorite bass player. I don't have a favorite band. You know what I do have a favorite thing is like, you know, people that have feeling, that feeling you can't teach to anybody, man.
Yeah.
You got that feeling inside you. You're gonna see that. Take Jim Morrison for example.
Right.
You didn't know what the fuck that guy was.
Not. He's barely a singer.
He was up there and he's like, he's looking at the crowd. He's like, yeah. And you're like,
That's the
what's
idea.
he gonna do?
Here,
Man?
that's exactly what
What's
I'm
he
talking
gonna
about.
do?
You don't fucking go to a concert to have the same old comfort that you had in your daily life.
You go there to see
Right.
how crazy they're.
You want to be uncomfortable watching what's happening.
Same with
Slightly.
Kurt Cobain.
It's
I know
almost
that
like-
worked for me.
It's almost chaos.
That
Like,
happened.
I
That happened
welcome
when I saw
chaos
you.
in my
That happened when I saw your band. I
Yeah.
felt uncomfortable because it was something that I didn't quite feel like I could do yet.
I think
you see what I'm saying?
We tapped into something like that, you know. Like I feel that in my playing. I think I've got so much pain inside myself. I don't know where it comes from, but
Mostly
I
your
feel like
balls, probably.
Probably.
because you keep sitting on
I've
them.
lost one of my nuts too. I had cancer, testicular
You're
cancer.
kidding me.
It was my.
So let's make ball jokes, Brian.
Thanks,
Ass,
man.
guilt.
Edit that part out.
Yeah.
See, and I can make fun of myself. I don't care. But I always said it's my payback from all the girls I broke their hearts. You know, back
they
in the
busted
day.
your
And
nuts.
I'm like, yeah, see you later. After, you know, I better not say it, but
An hour. 15 minutes.
Okay, next.
8 minutes.
God struck me
25
down.
seconds.
He's like, "That's your payback, motherfucker."
Ladies, he's still got one
You're
good
gonna
one.
pay
I
for
just wanna
that.
say
But anyway, but no, you were getting onto what I think is a pretty poignant, bit of philosophy about about a way to approach music that ignores a lot of the other sort of technical or
I
practical
don't
details
think
of
about
it.
anything when I play. I just,
Yeah.
you know, I go out there, whatever I'm feeling, whatever. I don't know. It could be.
That's one of the
chaos.
benefits of
It could
music.
be.
Yeah.
It could be. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a bad mood. I'm gonna fucking blow up mood. I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
And being a performer
And
allows you to be
that's
somebody
the way
else that
I-
you actually
I've always
are.
take it. I don't take anything serious.
I really, really wish, you know, now that we have everybody in the room and we're all just talking bros, this is what MDR is. And I'm going to be honest. You know, I'll be honest. You guys be honest. There's no pretentiousness on this shit. You know, I envy people. You're older than I am. I'm 42, right?
I'm 59 now. No, 46.
46. But
Oh,
still, that 4 years is a big gap when you talk about when I came into the scene and when you came into the scene.
Yeah.
right.
But either way, I'm literally sometimes on stage anymore. When you stack up gigs and you're playing every other weekend or whatever, you start to kind of get burnt. You know, and I'm up there just kind of going like, when's this? I can't wait for this to
I
be
quit
over
for
because I
10
just really want
years.
to drink beer with my drummer
Well,
and fucking.
that's
You know
when
what
you
I mean?
should. That's when you should
I
do the
quit
B
music
side
for
of the
10
album.
years, Brian.
That's what I want to
Right.
hear.
Right. So I mean, I literally can be up there,
B-side, yeah.
you know, just dreading it, just like God, man, I just want to be done with this. Unless there's like a huge crowd and it's one of them things, then it's obviously going to be awesome. But if you're playing to a smaller crowd and you're just trying to work through the night there, and it's just I kind of got burnt on it. I'm looking for some sort of fire again. But again, we're doing covers, so
That's what I mean. Covers.
burned on
I have
it.
trouble
I quit
meditating.
for a
I have
long
trouble
time.
meditating through the covers, man. I mean,
It's local mentality,
Yeah.
though. I mean,
Well, no,
can see
all the young
something
kids,
so
no,
many
no,
times.
no
See,
young
that's the
kids. do
time to
covers.
start
It's
doing
all old
originals,
guys,
or do another
Yeah.
project.
But,
If
yeah.
you're getting burned on something, you just go back and find something else.
That's
and
why I
come
do
back
this.
To,
This kind of took the place of that. I get
Yeah.
to say what I want
Yeah.
to say instead of saying what other people want to say.
Right.
And I can't write anymore because I have kids. And I know everybody's like, well, you could find time to bullshit.
no, you've got
If I
young
sit-
kids. You've got young kids. When
I
they get
can't
older,
sit
it's
in
a
my
little
studio
easier.
because when I work on songs, I can't work on them an hour here, an hour there, because when I get an hour in, that's when I start getting warmed up.
Right.
That's when I could be working on.
That's when they're knocking on the door. And
I've worked on a reverb on a snare for 8 hours before, and not changed a thing, and went back to the original reverb I had before.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
You know, man, you get into recording mode, and you could find.
Oh yeah,
you get too
everybody
close to it
in my
but it's-
life is like, look out, man! I'm writing, so stay away.
Right.
Pretty much, it's
and in
kinda
my
like
life
that.
right now, I don't have that luxury, so I have to do something, and this is what I do now.
Yeah.
But Plus, fuck, I've already made my statement with being in an original band and doing all
me
that
too.
shit. and
That's why
I'm not ashamed of my legacy at all.
Hey
so.
man,
I
I'd
can
like to
always
say
go
that
back
this
to
is
that
this is
if I
kick-ass what you're doing here, though. I mean, I think it's interesting what you did.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
and,
that.
Yeah.
I didn't say
it's
that
really cool.
for anything like that. I'm just saying this kind of fills that gap for
I
me.
want to tell you that, that thanks for having me on here. And
Thanks for having
glad I
us
know
all
you,
on
bro.
here. We appreciate it, man. And I like I said, I was gone a long time, and I just came back here, maybe 2-3 years ago now, and I am so proud of all the bands here, musician friends that haven't seen in years, and I come back here and they're doing these guys are doing gigs, they sound great. I'm just so proud to be from this area, because there's so many people that I respect in this area that are kicking ass, and that's what it's all about, and they're just having fun, and to see that is, to me,
That was good. It doesn't seem like it was always that way in a way.
in a way, no, but now it's like I've seen people wow, they're fucking great now.
Yeah.
Like I knew them before, and like, okay, they were good.
Right.
People are getting
But
the
now I'm like,
concept of
yeah,
life that
they're
life's too
kicking
short.
ass.
They just got to have good times,
Yeah.
and while they
Yeah.
get out left, because
I'm just proud of this
And
area.
do well.
I'm
I'm
proud of the scene
Yeah.
here.
I'm in a band
with
because
that.
I like hanging out with the guys in my band.
Yeah.
And the people
We
that
do
come
too.
see the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's,
like
it,
hanging
it's
out.
more of a. Sometimes I'm like, why don't we just not play and we all just hang out, everybody? You know what I
Do
mean?
we?
Like, fuck, you don't want to hear us play that song again, do you?
Well, my band
Let's just
actually-
drink beers.
my
you know?
band actually had-
material. I'm the
That
new
all,
material guy.
the
Okay,
All-Star
I'm always
Jam
pushing
thing was
dude.
the best idea.
Yeah, we're gonna-
because
Yeah.
I got to see like so many people I haven't seen in years.
Well, you're
play,
gonna have to be
and
a
I'm
part
like,
of it this time.
This is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Just to
Dude,
see
that was
them
fun.
play.
That was super
I got.
fun.
I'm gonna put Moen with a bunch of country guys.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No,
in about 3 years, I'll be at that speed. Yes.
Yeah.
He'd be good at it, probably too.
Yeah,
man.
probably.
He is an
I
awesome
do look good in
drummer.
a cowboy hat. That's what my
No,
wife
I
says.
think the whole hanging out with your bros and playing music thing is a big part of it. Although, I mean, kind of speaking to the whole, man, let's not even play. Let's just hang out. For a while there,
That's what it is
we would
with us,
actually, I know,
man.
we would actually have, we call them drinking practices.
I don't think
Hey, man,
we
is
even
this a
wanted to
drinking
get
practice? So we just fucking hang out and yell at each other. Maybe I'll have a microphone turned on. That way I'm louder than everybody else,
Yeah.
which they hate. But you know, we'll
Which
just
I'm
fucking.
glad we're doing a Nirvana thing. We can be as loud as we want. It don't fucking
Yes,
matter.
dude. Yes.
Like we don't have to concentrate on anything.
No.
Let's just play it. We thank you though for inviting. And you called me originally, and I said, you know what, Brian? I don't even care about money really at this point. If it's you can
that's the
help us
bass
out,
player
brother.
negotiating deals for you guys right there.
I know. I was like, who booked this
A lot
guy?
of it's my.
The drummer?
I ain't gonna tell you
Things
what
are
it
my
was
fault
next week
sometimes.
up the street.
That's what I'm trying to
not
say.
gonna tell you that.
But you know what? We're
So
a
I'm
new
like,
band
wait a
again.
minute.
Wait, I don't pay, so don't.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with me.
I'm all of a sudden in a new band again.
Right.
You know?
That's
I haven't
terrific.
really played out.
It's a great
you know?
feeling.
I just came back here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something else now. Now it's brand new.
I just
And
hope.
it's-
I just hope that you guys bring all of your friends and.
we thank you for inviting us.
We got
You
a
know,
lot of local
we think it's going to be
family.
fun.
Yeah, I'm sure that people will be out to see it. I mean, you guys have been promoting it pretty good and
Yeah.
stuff, and
So where's that at? Is that in?
it's at Purgatory outside August 22nd,
August
Okay.
22nd.
and
Down in
Don't
Bettendorf.
rain.
it's going to be a good time. So you guys go on at like 6:30
Yeah.
and play till 8:30 or something like that,
Till
or
8
8,
or 8
and then
or
we
so.
go on at 9.
Yeah.
And right across the street, Night
got a-
Ranger's playing.
We
so
got a whole hour to drink then. No, wait, you guys can't.
yeah,
do
this
it
is the way
first.
I see
We
it.
have to
People
wait till
that
after.
people that are going to be at the Night Ranger show are gonna be the people that like the 80s stuff, and so
Yeah.
the crowd that's watching the Nirvana tribute band will be people that are making fun of the people at the Night Ranger concert, right?
Yeah.
And then when that lets out, then our crowd will come and like all the the 80s. What's the matter, Travis?
I'm thinking about Night Ranger. All I gotta say is no Jeff Watson, no
I know.
Night
All
Ranger.
these- I would've went
I've
if
also
Jeff was
heard
there.
a
I
lot
know
of
Jeff.
20-some people saying, I'm sick of the 80s because that's all they're. You can't get a
That's the-
radio station around in the Quad City.
That's the first question I asked.
Yeah.
As soon as everything
Just Jeff
disappeared,
Watson playing?
I mean,
Nope.
all we got is 2 classic rock stations and no new.
No new rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None.
I just realized
Right.
that you three and I should be enemies.
Well, yeah.
Because you guys are
We've had this talk before, Brian.
You guys,
We've been through this. We've been through this 3 beers in.
you guys are my nemesis, actually. 'cause
We are
you-
spiritually enemies.
Yeah.
You're covering an era. You're covering a band that ruined my fucking life. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Nirvana ruined everything that I ever stood for.
Yeah, me too.
But
Us
don't-
too.
But don't
Yeah,
get
that's
me
true,
wrong.
yeah.
Here's what everybody thinks when I say that. Oh yeah, you were fucking digging the Firehouse, man. You really liked the big hair and the fucking looking like girls. No, fuck no. I wanted the Queensryche. I wanted the Iron Maiden. I wanted Skid Row. That's Rat was
Dude,
awesome.
we played in
There were certain
California.
aspects of that were kick ass, and they lump
Yeah.
you in with all of the Winger, and Winger's not bad either. Fuck you, I like Winger. So I don't make any excuses anymore. I love Nirvana too. The thing is I started liking them way after their heyday. When they shot up to the stratosphere and became the biggest band in the world, I was immediately
Yeah.
like, "You
What?
people are sheep," because you're we like them because they're not popular, man. What? They're quadruple platinum right now. You're dressing like them. You look just like you used to fucking have long hair and a flannel shirt. Now you've got shorter hair and a flannel shirt.
Dude, even me, man. When we first went to California, the first time I ever heard Nirvana was Bleach the Bleach album, and I thought that was the coolest fucking record ever.
Great
man.
record.
I'm
Yeah.
like, wow,
Love it.
who
Me
are
too.
These guys
Heard
man?
it before.
I'm like,
Nevermind.
We were
It's
out-
so cutting edge.
We
I
were
mean,
on our way to
just-
California in the van and the bus,
They had
and
so
I
much to
remember
give. That guy
listening to
had
that.
so much to
As soon
give,
as
and
we
he
got
died
to
way too
California,
early.
Nirvana broke out
Agreed.
with Nevermind, and it was fucking
Okay.
out of this world. It was huge.
It was great.
like-
I understand the energy of it. I understand the streetness of it. The cred that they got because they weren't being what was their predecessor was, which was finely tuned, very prim.
It killed Suicide Saloon, though.
I think the people that are the most exciting to see live or listen to live are the people that, as you're watching them, you get this sense that the whole thing is in danger of failing.
It's on two
that you
wheels
feel
all the
like,
time,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? That you feel like it's gonna tip over on you if you're, but then you just want to watch to see if it's actually gonna happen.
gonna happen or
See if it's
not,
gonna happen. It's like people used to remark that about early Jeff Beck shows when he was going out and doing the instrumental thing because people didn't know if he could really bring it live, and he sometimes couldn't.
I had that same feeling when I saw Dokken at the pig pen when they were like washed up. You know what I mean?
right.
And I didn't know it was going to happen then either because I know Lynch and Don Dokken fucking hated each
Right,
other.
yeah.
And the whole time Lynch
did,
wouldn't even
huh?
look at Don Dokken. You know what I mean? And it's a true
You
story.
could just tell.
Lynch did a clinic at Griggs and he verified this story.
I was there.
Yeah. So what happens was Lynch, Pilsen, they're all playing as they're reunited. It's Dokken, and they're at the pig pen. And they're playing, and Don Dokken's having a problem with hearing or whatever, and he can't hear enough, so he storms off the stage. Okay, he goes outside, sits on the curb, and pouts. And meanwhile, Pilsen like, fuck it, man, into the fire, ready, go. And they start whipping out all these songs, and Pilsen starts singing, and he's smoking Don Dokken. I bet. You know what I mean? He's smoking them, and Lynch is digging in there. Now they're a power trio, and I'm like, yes, the night has just started.
Yeah.
And then Don Dokken was standing on this. He came back in the back door after a couple songs, and he's standing there on the steps, and I'm watching him. Everybody else is watching the concert. I'm watching Don Dokken, seeing, because I know he's pissed, man.
Yeah.
And he has one of them plastic cups. I don't know, 16 ounces, full of like something dark. It was probably whiskey and Coke or whatever.
Probably Kool-Aid.
And it could have, even if it was Kool-Aid. So he comes up and he's like standing on the side, getting all like brave or whatever. He runs up and he fucking throws the drink into Lynch's triple rectifier stacks, which he had 2 stacks.
Yeah.
And that's when rectifiers were new.
Right,
and that's
yeah.
what he's playing. He throws his drink right into the cones. You know what I mean? And splash. And literally, Lynch's son was his guitar tech, and he was behind the amp the whole time and saw it happen.
Wow.
And they go into some song, and Lynch is turning around looking, and because the tech's like, dude. And he said, he told him, fucking just threw his drink in your shit. And that was it. Lynch played, and he played, and they got off stage at the end of the night. Lynch went out the back door and punched Don Dokken in the face and knocked him out.
No
Good
shit.
for him.
Knocked him out, and the
Damn.
band broke up that fucking night.
That fucking night.
It was over.
I would have
Damn.
done the same thing too, and you're gonna fuck my equipment up like that, now you deserve to be.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I like fucking up equipment. That's what Nirvana's about. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
I got him a drum set he can destroy. I mean, I got a
And then it
guitar.
would
That's
have
terrific,
been,
yeah.
then it would have been
No.
a couple minutes later, like
I gotta
me
take
and
the
Billy
mics
be like,
off
we're
first,
friends
yeah.
now. All right, it's all right. Now we're good.
Well, man, when I was putting this podcast together and finding out who was going to show up on it and all that stuff, and I'm glad that you guys all came, by the way.
Thanks for having us.
When I told Travis that I was going to have you in the house, Ronnie, he said on the phone, he was like, dude, I mean, he told me, he's like, dude, Ronnie was like a huge influence to me. Like when I saw, is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw.
wow.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
it was. You guys were really like the first kind of polished sounding live rock band doing all originals, and I think really that night, even though we all sort of had it in mind that we were going to do originals and stick by doing originals, during that period. There was just something about that just solidified that in our minds for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. When I first came back here a couple years ago, I walked in I was at the Redstone room, man. I walked in the bathroom to take a piss, and this dude comes up to me. He's like, Ronnie Cook. And I'm like, I didn't know who the fuck he was, man. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, he's like, dude, I just want to let you know, you're like one of the biggest influence in my whole fucking life, my career, man. I'm like, wow, really?
I'm sorry,
I'm
dude.
like-
Yeah, weird.
Yeah,
That's a lot of pressure, man.
like,
So what you're saying is you're a fucking
I'm
loser.
a fuck up, man. I'm a fuck up just like anybody else, man. Really, I'm an influence on somebody.
Nice,
that to
Travis.
me is like,
No.
wow.
No, that's
Really?
legit though. That's legit though. And in those moments, I think how you react to that says a lot about who you are basically.
It almost made me cry. to
Dude,
tell you
it
the
would
truth,
probably-
man.
I'd
I'm
probably get
wow,
weepy. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
It is. It's huge.
I'm humbled by
I
that.
always feel very strange when people say things
Yeah,
like
I
that,
do too.
because it's usually at Walmart with my hair back, my glasses on, and running pants and Crocs, and my kids crawling all over me. I'm like,
It's
dude,
like a job. I've been doing
it's
it
all
for
good.
30 years.
It's all good, man. We all understand. We're all grown ups now. We're
Yeah.
not. There's no pretentiousness here.
now-
We're not better than anybody else. We're just talking about our fucking
And
game,
what
and
I
that's
love-
rocking and rolling.
I
That's
love
all
to
I'm
look
talking
out in the
about.
audience and see them having a fucking great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, me
them
too.
smiling. And I'm
Mike.
like, yeah, they're having fun out there. That's what it's all about.
I want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, for sure.
Too bad these things are only an hour and a half. There's some pussies that
I've
want
had
it
a great
shorter, and then
time.
there's the real MDR people who are like, dude, I wish the episodes were longer.
I could do this all week with you guys.
So, but I definitely want to thank you guys for coming on and helping with the MDR cause, man. So good
Thank
to see
you
you
for
again,
having
Mike.
us, you guys.
Yeah, you guys have got anything last you want to say?
I just
or-
want to say thanks, man. You guys, and we are interesting people, all of us, and no matter who it is.
Especially Ronnie. I'm telling you. He's got growth in the spot that you would really enjoy.
I interest myself sometimes.
Yeah. So August 22nd, come check out Bleach, and then have to sit through Dive Bomb after
Yeah,
that. And,
exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Hey, I do. I'd like to give a shout out to Lenny Ritchie. He's got a benefit. I believe it's September 12th in Muscatine. So
yeah, I think I'm going to be part
Love
of
you,
that.
Lenny.
Yeah.
Did you say September 12th?
yeah, I believe so.
We're
We're doing that.
Shit.
We're doing
And
that.
another thing, keep it real. Keep it about the music. It's
Yes.
about
It's
you.
about.
Thank you.
It's not about anything else. It's about the fucking music. Period.
Yes.
Right.
all it's
Like
about.
I said, what I learned even from that ASCAP thing, it's from Murphy's Law. I'm telling you, it's like it's the song that captures the people.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And so keep the music alive forever, man.
Thanks for being on, guys. Come check out Bleach and Dive Bomb on the 22nd. And
Yeah.
thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Like the podcast, share it, subscribe to our YouTube, please, man. Join the club. We love you. Bye.
Good luck with that.
Oh, shit. I said